Hi, this is Rachelle with Journal Life's Journey, and I am going to attempt to make an ephemera holder for Halloween ephemera. If all goes well, I'll make one for Christmas too. We have Christmas in July coming up, and we've just passed halfway to Halloween. But it's taken me several hours to decide what I want to do, how I want to go about this. And I have some inspiration from the official Heather Wilkerson website. She did a folio similar to what I'm going to do, but I'm going to add a few features to it. So, first off, I'm trying to commit to using as much of my 12 by 12 scrapbook paper pads as I can. So, it's hard to use the paper. It took me a while to say, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. So these papers, this star paper is from Haunted Hollow. I think I got this from, yeah, Tuesday morning back in the day. I've had it for a while. Let's see. It's from American Crafts and it's 2014. Papers from 2014. Okay, this one is Witch's Lair. It's Recollections and it is from 2023. That's what that looks like. Okay. So using a little old and using a little new. These two are papers from the recollections. So I'm thinking these will be the inside, and this will be the outside, which will allow me to decorate. I don't think this is too busy for ephemera pieces to show up on it. Um, we'll see how it turns out. Because these are single-sided papers, first thing I need to do is make them double-sided papers. So I'm going to try and use Yes Paste to do that. So let's just go on and get into that real quick. And I didn't trim off the excess here. I want to see if I need to. I may not need to if I make some type of top flap. So I'll leave it for now. All right. So I'm just going to try and do a little at a time. And also what I'm going to do is clip these in place and hope that they don't wiggle around too much before I get to that end or to that area. Right. And I'm going to just apply the paste with one of these Dollar Tree makeup spatulas and try to be as neat as possible. I got a silicone mat here, but I got a feeling that's not gonna be good enough. Maybe I should use a piece of scrap paper too. That way I can at least turn the paper over if I get the paste on it. I don't want to put too much because I have put too much before, and that was a mess. And I think I may end up doing some sewing here. We'll see how it goes. All right. I think I'm gonna stop there. Let's move this down. I probably need a bigger brush to do this with instead of using this spatula or something stiffer. I don't know how it wiggled unless the paper's just not cut straight. That's probably it because one side doesn't look off, but that side does. But then again, this down here is crooked too. I don't know. I tried to keep it as straight as I could though. All right, I'm gonna set this aside and do the other one, and then I'll be back. Okay, the washing machine and dryer are going. I don't know if this mic is going to pick that up. I'm using a new mic again. So I glued them together. They're still damp. I don't know how long it's going to take for the paste to dry, but I'm going to go ahead and move forward. First thing I'm going to do for the bottom is score 3 inches. That's going to make the pocket. So I'm going to use my score tool, scoreboard. I need to score on the other side actually. So here, 3 inches. Oop, did that jump? I think it jumped. It did. I gotta be careful because this is still wet. Let's see if I can rub that mistake out. Then I'm going to score the center at 6. Oops. I need to put myself a guide on here. Keeps wanting to jump. Maybe I should use a stylus instead of the bone folder. Let's try that. Okay, let's try the stylus. Still line this up. This is the side of the ruler. That's wonky. So now I just need to decide which is going to be the left and which is going to be the right. And I'm just going to take a pencil and mark them left, right. So this is the left and this is going to be against the spine. So on the half that is not going to be against the spine, which is this half, I'm going to put an X. I need to score, I think about a half an inch from this score line. So I need to score at what? 5.5. Let's try it without is 5.5 going to be enough? Should I do 3/4? I'm going to do 5/8. So a little bit bigger than a half inch. All right. So this is the left and this is the right. So this is the side that I want to score on. It's going to be the fold, the flap. So this is the one where I need to score 5/8 of an inch from the original score line. I think we can start folding and possibly trimming. Let's see what happens. So this is the right. I'm going to fold carefully. Maybe I should have waited until it dried, but I'm impatient. Okay, we got a crack. Yikes. Shouldn't be cracking. It's still moist. While I was waiting on these to dry, I cut a piece of chipboard that I had doubled previously for something else. This was an offcut. I cut it to, I think it was 2 3/4, 2.5 by 9. So this is going to go here. This is going to go here. I'm going to fold up these bottom pieces to make the pockets, and then we'll go from there. I think I need to cut out this piece here as well. Which side is going to be better to cut over? I'm going to cut it as straight as I can, but outside, slightly outside the score line. I think I need some smaller scissors. I may even need smaller than this, but let's see if I can cut this out. It's not the cleanest, but maybe we can repair that later. Okay, this paper is very cracky. If that makes any sense. All right. So now we can fold this up carefully. Maybe I shouldn't have doubled the pockets. So maybe next time I wouldn't do that and it's cracking again. So this is going to probably end up being quite grungy because I'm going to ink it to help with the cracking. I scored and everything and it's still cracking. So, okay. All right. So this is the fabric that I'm going to use. I guess I should be checking my mic, but I'll check it in a minute. So I think I'm going to cut a piece for the outside, and I'm not sure how I'm going to handle the inside, but we're going to go for right here because I want plenty of orange to show. Try and get that straightened out. That's going to go on this piece. And then maybe I can use some of my dyed tape right here. I have some left over that can work. Hopefully it's not stuck on here. If you want to see the video of how I made the tape, I'll link to it in the iCard up above. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so I think I'm going to work on the spine for now, and I'm going to use this scrap piece to cover the chipboard. And then I'm thinking that the cardstock is really lightweight cardstock. Should also cover the fabric as well as the chipboard. So like something like this. And then instead of going inside of the folio like that, because then it's going to be inside the pocket too. I'm going to see how it looks once I cut it, but I'm thinking maybe it should go outside like this, and then it will fold like this. And I think that should hold, because again, I may be doing some stitching. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm going to work that out and see what happens. I think I need to just cut it at 9 inches. And then right here, cut that right there. Okay, so I was just trying to decide, should I go ahead and stitch before I put it together? But I think I need to put it together first before I stitch, because I definitely want to stitch these pieces together. And I don't want to have multiple stitches. I just want to stitch it one time. So hopefully I can stitch all the way across. The only issue is going to be stitching down around the second spine, the smaller spines. And I need to do something to protect them as well. I did go ahead and ink. Can't tell that I inked everywhere, but I went ahead and inked um, around the edges to get rid of those white edges. And again, this is like the Halloween theme, so it needs to be a little bit grungy to me anyway. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue the parts together and get some stitching done and see what we have from there. Okay, so I think I need to leave this to dry. I will come back and touch up the edges of the fabric, make sure that that's glued down. I do think that I have overcompensated for the spine area, but that leaves me room to add what I want to add in the center without worrying about it bulking up because some of this is going to get a little bulky, I think, too, based on what I want to do to it. This is going to probably end up weighing quite a bit too, but hopefully it will be able to hold quite a bit of Halloween ephemera. And what I'm using this for, or what I'm planning on using this for, is ephemera that is digital. So the digital things that I purchased and cut out just in my downtime, it will hold those things. And these pockets here will hold bigger pieces. And then I will have some pages included that will hold smaller pieces, and I have ideas for doing those. And I don't know if I'm gonna end up keeping this for myself. I'm going back and forth already. Do I wanna keep it or do I wanna sell it? What do I wanna do? We'll see. I think I wanna keep it though, but let's get it put together and then decide. Okay, I took a break from the mic for a bit. Um, But I'm gonna catch you up on what I've done so far. So I stitched around. I went ahead and added fabric to the small spines because they were cracking and I just wasn't sure that they would hold up over time. So, and I really put my sewing machine through it, going over this area here because it's 4 layers of cardstock and the fabric. So I'm gonna clean it and give it some TLC because it did it, but it yeah, I got some skip stitches here and there, but not too bad. Anywho, so that's done. Now, I did make a mistake because I was on the phone when I was doing it. Um, When I made the envelopes, I was supposed to leave it open so that I could stitch them in. And I'm thinking of putting 3 in here and maybe, I don't know if I should do 2 or 3. I'm thinking the 3 envelopes and then maybe in between putting a couple of eyelets so that I can put some type of insert in on elastics. I don't know if that will work. And I don't know if I should do that before I stitch. I'm thinking maybe I should. But what I did was make myself a template with a scrap piece of paper. I cut it to 9 inches by 2 1/4, or whatever the width of the spine is. I folded it in half. Then I folded each side in half towards the center. And I took the ruler and drew my lines in. And then I did the same thing here. I folded it in half, drew the line in. And then I think I measured like 1 1/2 inches. The width of my ruler is what I did, I think. And for the top and bottom, and this is actually the top, marked the top, drew all the lines. So it's ready. I have a template. Now, I want this to be the first envelope because it has the window. And these envelopes can hold ephemera larger pieces. Then I will have larger pieces in the pockets. I can also make little folders that will fit in the pockets. These pockets pretty tight now that I've stitched them, but I think I can get something in there. Yeah, just as long as it's not too thick. This is my idea. I think this one might be slightly too large for this, but maybe it can work on this. So these are slot pockets. This is what it looks like. It has the mat and the actual pocket piece, and the pocket pieces have flaps. So what I did, I have 2 of them. I have the smaller one and then this big one. I'll probably use both of them, but I've already cut some with the small. So I think this is a laminate pouch that I cut. So I'll cut it with the laminate pouch. So you got a clear pocket here. Um, okay. And I think I got these from Amazon. I may have gotten one of them from Shein. I'm not sure, but I think they're both available on Amazon. I'll link to everything in the description box below. So instead of stitching on, I thought maybe I could glue it with clear. I hadn't really thought about the acetate, if I would be able to use that. My main focus has been on using the vellum. And I could even go this way with it, tuck, 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 or use the big one. And I just need to cut out some of the vellum pieces. So the smaller ones can go here, and I'm planning on making some layers here somehow. Not sure how I'm gonna make it work. Um, but we'll see. I may just glue over this. I don't know. I'm still working it out as I go. But the goal is to use these um, as ephemera holder pockets. So I have quite a few cut in the smaller size. I just need to cut some of the bigger ones. So that's the inspiration for this. Um, I think these are much easier than cutting up pieces of vellum and then trying to stitch them on or glue them on, whatever the case may be. These pockets are already ready to go. Just cut them with the die cut machine and voila. All right. So I did mark my 3 holes with a white jelly roll pen, and I'm going to attempt to stitch this even though the envelope is already closed. So, and I think that's pretty much it. I made the 3 envelopes. I didn't put a window in the other 2. So, one with a window just so it could look nice in the front. And I really wanted to see if I could do it. And then, yeah. So I'm going to try and stitch these in. Wish me luck. Eyelets are in, envelopes are in. Let me go ahead and string it. The wax thread that I use is from Amazon. So is this cord, elastic cord. I'll link to everything below. There's the elastic. When I was making this envelope with the frame window, I did not think it through that this would show on the inside. So to fix that, I cut a piece of the scrap that I use for the spine area, and I am going to put that in place so that at least when you open up the envelope, it looks nice and you don't just see that. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get this in here without making a huge mess. And I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. Make sure that it still closes, and I'm making sure that it doesn't show through on the other side. Then I can actually go in here and I don't want to push it onto the, maybe I should let that dry. I'm going to let it dry, and I can come back and add some on this edge. That way it can dry in place and not slide around. So that is done. So I'm still working out the other bits, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and cut some vellum pieces because I can use these areas for storage as well. Not that one, these two. Okay. So I went in my stash. I had a pack of these papers from Tuesday morning from back in the day. I've used this paper so many times. It is a Halloween paper. Actually, this paper pad, Haunted Hollow, is where this paper came from. This paper is single-sided, and this pattern, both of these patterns are actually in here. However, it's single-sided, but I have this pack of the double-sided papers. Okay, so I'm going to use these two as pieces that will go on the elastic. Then I cut one of the 6x6 cut aparts from one of the paper pads that I'm using. And I'm going to use this as something for my cover. And I still need to figure out my closure situation, but I'll get to that. And I went ahead and did I do that? Oh, I didn't trim this piece off. It didn't cut quite right. All right. So this is the large pocket piece. Then I use the small pocket piece. I'm going to place those on these pages. And on the front of the envelope, we'll have a large one here, a large one here. Then same thing over here, large and, can you see? Large and small. So pretty much worked out everything positioning wise. The only thing I have left is this. I have ideas and I'm trying to use minimal paper. Even though I have so much paper, I shouldn't be like that. But I like the paper so much and I hate to use it and say, oh, I need it later. Okay, so whatever I put here would be about 5 by 8.5 or 8. I could do 5 by 8. All right, let's worry about that later. I'm gonna score this because I'm thinking I'm gonna make it a pocket. Trying to make everything useful storage space. I'm gonna score at a 1/2 inch on each side. So we can have a gusseted pocket. I'm just going to do a 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. I probably didn't even need to do anything at the bottom. So that's one way you can use those 6x6 cut parts. use them to make a pocket. So I'm gonna have something behind that too. Let's clip that in place. All right, now let's go ahead and score these. I didn't know what side I want to be on the outside, but I think I'm gonna go with the ads on the outside. I don't know if that's gonna hold up. I might trim just a hair off of the ends of these and put something in the center to reinforce it. I wonder if washi tape would work. Let's notch this. I'm gonna use the envelope punch board to do that. I should probably wait until after I put tape on it, huh? I think I'll wait. Let me find some washi tape. The problem is I have all my Halloween stuff packed away, so I'm gonna have to dig through a box and find some tape. All right, here's my Halloween washi. I think a wider washi would be best. This is one of my favorites. It's getting old and dry rotted, so it's probably best to use as much as I can. And I'm gonna go down the center. After I add some, let's get this out of the way. I'm running out of space here. I'm gonna make sure that I get it centered. All right, let's do the other side. I'm not crazy about how it looks on the inside, but I really like how it looks on the outside. Now let's see if we can actually punch this. Yes. Now let's test it to make sure that it's gonna fit nicely on the elastic. I really feel like I need a heavier weight, something to slide in and out of here. But yeah, that's nicer. That fits really nice. Keep losing my pieces. So other than that, I'm just gonna trim off the edge, but I'll do both of them at the same time. Make sure I'm not folding up my vellum pieces. And then I can fill these out. I think I'll do that in a separate video though. All right, let's go ahead and do the washi tape for this. All right, so we're making progress here. Now I need to go through and do all the folds on the vellum. It scores it when you run it through the machine, but the scores aren't really good scores, and the vellum's not going to just fold easily because it's vellum. So I'm going to have to work with it a bit. I'm going to work on that, and then I'll be back. All right, so had a little mix up here. I forgot that I needed to glue down the bottom of the pockets or the bottom of the slots. So I figured it out when I put this first one down, and then I was able to go back under with the art glitter glue. I don't like that it shows, but can't be helped. but the pockets do work. Okay. And I've noticed that on these smaller dies, one of the sides, it actually cuts through, which is not good. I ended up having to put some clear tape to seal that up. And then I even had to put a little bit more glue here because it was open there. I cut these probably like a year ago, so I don't even know what happened there. But I am going to use this double-sided tape to do these bottom pockets. And this is 1/8 inch tape that I got from Amazon. Let's try this again. And also I'm using my ruler to help me line everything up. So I'm kind of putting this about a 1/2 inch above the pocket. I think this one I need to move down a little bit further, maybe a 1/4 inch above the pocket. I can probably eyeball it, but I want to get them as straight as I can. Now I could add some wet glue on here to help give me some wiggle room, but I'm going to try and do it without adding anything. See how much better that looks? Even though you can kind of see the double-sided tape once I burnish it down, it still looks a lot neater than this one does, but it's fine. And also on the larger ones, even though I used 2 strips of the 1/8 inch, I remembered that I could use the 1/4 inch tape on the larger flaps. That feels a little gappy, that bottom one, but I think it'll be fine. So if I don't burnish it, you can't really see the tape, but if I don't burnish it, I don't know if it's really sticking that well. So that is done. The next thing I want to work on is these little folders. Not sure what I'm going to do with these. I did have an idea that I could laminate them to make them a little bit more sturdy. Just laminate one side. So either the outside, probably the outside, but I don't know that I want to do that. I need to think about that a little bit more. And then I also need to decide if I want to do an expandable pocket here or if I'm going to do several different layers. All right, so I'm thinking this is a good place to stop. So what I have left to do is the front cover, adding the closures, the 2 inside flaps, still deciding how I want to handle those. And I think as far as this is concerned, I'm done. Just need to fill up the pockets. And same over here, just need to fill up the pockets, load the envelopes, and then I need to decide how I'm going to handle these 2 inserts or folders. Um, I have ideas, but we'll see. But I'm going to end it here because this is a pretty long video and we got the base of this completed. It's just doing some of the final details. And maybe I'll add some charms here. We'll see. Anywho, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for the things that I have left to do, let me know that also. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and I'll holler at y'all next time. Bye.